Hey, what's up GBC family? Josh here. This video is not about business credit, it's more of a personal tragedy video. Some of you guys may already know about this from past live streams, but I just felt I needed to make this video just to bring more awareness. And hopefully this video can help save even just one person. So you guys know I have Parkinson's disease. That's not what this video is about, but I have to have everything written out so I don't ramble and repeat things over and over due to my Parkinson's. So I'm just going to get right into it, and if you guys can just please listen to everything I have to say. Again, this isn't about business credit, but this is about something that each and every one of you guys, I guarantee, can somehow, in some shape or form, can relate to this. And if you can't, I'm sure at some point you will be able to relate to it. And you have the power to possibly save somebody's life as well, okay? So let's get right into it. And I'm sorry if I get emotional about this. And some of my past loyal subscribers during live streams have already known about this, but let's get right into it, okay? So again, this video is not about business credit. This video is about a personal tragedy that I've already made public to you guys. But some of you guys haven't watched my past live streams or caught those live streams because they're usually real late at night when I've done them. So the point of this video is sometimes we need reminders, things to wake us up, because we get caught up in, say, business or everyday life, and we forget about things that are precious and things that matter. So that's kind of what this video is about. So please, again, watch this whole video because it can be life-changing and save somebody's life. You have the chance to save somebody's life. I learned from my mistakes as well. So again, we all need wake-up calls sometimes. Kind of to remind us how precious life is, and we take it for granted. We all do. And if you say you don't, you're lying. At some point, you take life for granted, and you'll have regrets. You know, no one is promised tomorrow. So again, many of my long-time subscribers know that I lost my little daughter and my little sister and my little brother in the last 3 years to substance abuse. 2019, 2020, 2021. But there's a difference between my brother and sister versus my daughter, and I'll explain that to you in a minute. So my little sister passed away June 28th last year. She called me about an hour before she overdosed. She was struggling with substance abuse, fentanyl, heroin for about 15 years. We saw it coming, going through rehabs, spending 6 figures on rehabs. It's just, it's a hard thing to beat. Then my little brother, he left behind also his children, and he was found decomposed in the woods near Vandalia Airport by an electric worker. He was missing for about 3 months. But that's not what this video is about. It's more a dedication for my daughter. There's a difference between my siblings, my half-siblings. They were battling the illness of addiction, you know, and it took their life like that, and they were in their early 20s. My daughter, on the other hand, was not addicted. So anyways, our family saw this coming. So, however, what we did not see coming, what I did not see coming, was my eldest daughter, Alexis. We didn't see that. Why? She was going to Miami University in Dayton, Ohio, to become a nurse. She was just 19 years old, doing night classes. She was not associated with anybody, even my siblings or anything like that, totally separate. Like, there was no correlation whatsoever. And it was July 28th, about 10:30 p.m. 2019. And I was here in the Philippines, and I got a call from Sergeant Davis with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department, informing me that my daughter's car had flipped off ramps near I-70 3 times. Car was totaled. She was care flighted to Children's Hospital in Dayton. About an hour later, Children's Hospital recommended to care flight her to Upper Valley Medical Center in Piqua, Troy. She was coming home from night school to become a nurse. So, you know, we as parents don't want to give up, and we want second opinions. And when a child is brain dead or anybody's brain dead, the doctors have to tell you the odds and percentages. And we as parents don't want to accept that your child's brain dead. So if the doctor says they have 1% chance that they could come out of it, you as a parent want to hold on to that. As I did. And that's why we ran for about 5 days. 3, 4 MRIs, 3 CAT scans. Exactly 5 days later, today is 3 years ago. Exactly 3 years ago. I had to do a video call and a document to take her off life support. As much as it was hard to do, I knew I had to do it because it was becoming selfish and torture. I just had to do it. My ex at that time, her mother didn't want to make that decision either. Nobody wants to be the one to make that decision. I wasn't in her life really growing up. So I had to make that decision. And as hard as it was, it's still the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. But no parent wants to be faced with having to sign that form. And I forget the number, but it's like an 88 something number form. And it's consent basically to do not resuscitate and let things go. the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. So you know, some may think the car wreck was what actually took her life. Due to the wreck, you know, she had flipped and totaled her car like a pancake. It flipped 3 times over guardrail. Nobody else was involved. There was nobody in sight either that could witness it or anything. But I would tell you this. So about 30 minutes after the accident, that's when I was able at Children's Hospital, being here in the Philippines, with a Skype call, video call live, be able to see my firstborn. That image will never leave my brain. It's like forever imprinted, and it's the hardest thing in life. And there's not a day that goes by that's not brought up in my brain. It's like subconsciously in my brain, and it's the hardest thing to deal with. But I just keep focusing on my daughter, wouldn't want me to keep thinking about that image and look at her as beautiful as she is. So we did design to have her be next to me as if she's still here with us. It's hard to let go. It took me a couple years just to get her headstone, because that's the last control I could have of actually letting her go. In denial, I should say. But seeing your child battered beyond battered, I don't know the words to even describe it. In tubes and so many machines and noise going on. And you're helpless as a parent. You can't do anything. And you think to yourself that it should be me. It shouldn't be your child. It shouldn't be. You shouldn't have to bury your child. Especially I was like 10,000 miles away here in the Philippines. That was my choice and everything, so I'm not making any excuses on that whatsoever. I failed her. I failed my daughter, my firstborn. And that's something I have to live with. But again, there's nothing worse than seeing that. So my point is after her autopsy, the Montgomery County Coroner's Office did the normal like toxicology panel, did those tests, and I requested further tests and paid out of pocket for these third-party tests overseen by the coroner's office. Because I wanted to get to the bottom of what she's healthy, she's on her way to become a nurse, she's not involved in drugs or anything whatsoever. So it's like, what happened? So even I had them do the hair follicle test where, you know, especially with a girl, if some of you guys remember Britney Spears, she shaved her head and went to court with her hair shaved when she was going through like a custody battle. The reason they do that is because hair is like a footprint. If you have 10-inch long hair, that's basically going to go back a couple years and be able to tell if you have any type of like substance abuse of any type of like narcotic or drug or something in your system, such as like THC, weed, or whatever. She didn't have anything on the hair follicle test, nothing. And she had very long hair, nothing at all. the coroner's office and third-party testing can't say that she's ever had any THC or anything like that in her system. She didn't hit another car, nobody else was injured. So if she was to be blamed for this, thankfully nobody else got injured. But we were still left with like, what happened? And still, even to this day, we don't know 100% with certain. And that eats me away. It hurts me. I want to understand, and some things in life we just can't understand. But anyways, back to it. About 2 weeks after letting her go on August 2nd, 2019, just shy of about 40 days away from her 20th birthday, September. So the labs overseen by the Montgomery County Coroner's Office, we were told she had no THC, weed, marijuana in her system whatsoever, as the hair testing dates back very far. It could be years, nothing ever. So as far as we know, she's never done anything at all. And I'm not saying that, oh, my child's perfect and has never done anything, but she really was perfect. And I wasn't even in her life, you know. And she had no association with my half-siblings that have battled substance abuse. However, there were some traces in the test down, without getting too detailed and graphic. I had them do certain toxicology testing down to certain organ parts and tissue. And there was traces of fentanyl. That's right, fentanyl. It's the worst thing that's ever came out of China. It's the worst chemical, whatever you want to call it, drug. It's worse than anything. There's nothing worse, in my opinion. It's worse than any war. It's killed hundreds of thousands of people. It only takes like one grain of salt, somebody to actually touch it and get an overdose. It happens to even police officers all the time. I just wish that would be gone. And it's not even that expensive, but somehow China keeps on making, getting it smuggled in, and it's just horrible. It's the worst thing. There's nothing worse than that. It's a national emergency, in my opinion. This has been all over the news for the last 10 years. But it seems like the last 5 years, the media doesn't cover it anymore because it's not important, because it's old news and nobody wants to hear about it. Well, we need to hear about it. We need to stop. We've been at a peak higher than ever in history, where there's more. There's baby boomers, there's that generation, but there's never been a time more, and this will go down in 30, 40 years from now, that there's going to be a gap where there's more 15 to 25-year-olds in cemeteries laid to rest from fentanyl heroin overdose than anything in the past 100 years, 200 years, any wars. I stand by that. If you go down to the age groups, heck, some of them are as young as 10, 12 years old. There's even little kids that the parents are on it and leave it laying around, and their 2-year-old dies from just touching this little powder, fentanyl. It's horrible. So we're still left with did my daughter actually do it intentionally, or do I want to be naive and say, oh no, she did it? No, I'm not going to be naive. Maybe she did, but one thing we do know from the autopsy in the coroner's office is they said that If she was using, she had to have just started in the past 4 to 6 days, never used prior to that. And if she did use in that last 4 to 6 days, she couldn't have used more than 2 to 3 times, and then that 2 to 3 times, one of those times, if she was using, was within 30 minutes of her accident, likely 15 minutes. So likely the parking lot in the college, because it's only about 15 minutes away from Huber Heights, where the accident happened. I've cried so many tears over the last 3 years, and I'm becoming numb to it. But I know my girl is right here on my shoulder looking over, and she doesn't want me to be hurting or in pain. And it may sound weird, but I feel like my 3-year-old daughter, Isabelle, in a sense, is my Alexis, because they have many similar traits. So the point is still unknown, the true cause of her death, unfortunately. But what I can say and what I can tell you, there's nothing harder than this. I'll never get used to it. I'll never be able to fully accept it. But I do know this. I'm sure each and every one of you guys know somebody or have somebody, a family member, a friend, whatever, suffering from some type of substance abuse addiction. And you may not even know it because they can hide it easily. So there's things to look for. And I'm going to have so many resources in the bottom of this video for you guys to look and look for warning signs. If this video and my failure as a parent, my situation, my tragedy, my daughter's life being taken too soon, maybe this was all meant to be. I don't know. I can't make sense of it. But if this video can help save just one person, it's a success. So please share this video, but continue listening to the rest of this video. It means so much to me. And you can save someone's life, I guarantee it. It's not always about money. Yeah, there's business credit, but this doesn't mean anything. I'm a multimillionaire now, but that money can't bring her back. It means nothing to me. I like teaching, giving back, and helping people, but there's nothing I wouldn't do to have her back or to trade places. So yeah, the point of this basically is I wanted to share my story with everyone in hopes that maybe I can bring more awareness about addiction, substance abuse in general, and more importantly, fentanyl in itself, heroin fentanyl. Because that's the true national emergency. It just doesn't get talked about because it's not headlining news. They are making improvements as far as the Narcan, the nasal spray, get people out, but a lot of times it's too late. People that abuse and use, they go in bathrooms and gas stations and you can't, it's too late. You have to catch them so quick for that Narcan to work. I've never done any drugs at all. I mean, I don't want to lie, but I've dabbled with things when I was a teenager, but nothing like any of this, But this horrible drug needs to be destroyed, and I know there's no way to win that war. But what fentanyl is doing is it's leaving thousands of parents burying their children or their child. And this issue does need to be talked about more and more. And if you can spread this video, share it out to everybody. This has nothing to do with me at all. I just want this video to be shared out and get so many people to think about it and listen to this. Get the message out there. Let's do it together. Save people's life. Save these children. Please. Do it for my daughter. Don't do it for me. Do it for my daughter. This is, like I said, a national emergency, in my opinion. So hopefully this video can have some type of small impact, unless parents will have to lay their child to rest. This video is dedicated to my angel, Alexis Marie Mckee Van Horn. I, as a parent, failed her. I failed my daughter, and I know that, and I can accept that. She's looking over me and her siblings together. I want each and every one of you to pay close attention to your loved ones, your family, friends, and ones that you may think that something's not right. They're silent, or it's the quiet ones you're not sure about. Just think about it more. If something doesn't seem right, it's probably not right. And it only takes this little thing to save somebody's life. You don't want to be a what if, or I could have done this, could have done that, like I have with my sister Bethany. They called me like in 20 minutes, an hour before she overdosed. Or I regret that I didn't talk to my brother for almost 10 years because we had a falling out. And one of the last things I said to him was I said I hated him. And I didn't mean it, but it was out of anger, but I never got to tell him I love him or anything. And it's something I have to live with. And we all mature and grow, you know? But again, do your best to try to help somebody. I'll have so many resources below in this video. And comment, reach out. Email support@joshvanhorn.com if you know somebody at all. I work with several addiction centers. Even if you don't have insurance, or you know somebody that needs help, but they don't have insurance and can't get in these rehab, we will try to do something to help somebody. Even if that means me taking money out of my own pocket, I will do my best to help. As a final note, if you are able to, please consider this. Please consider donating to the nonprofit organization that I selected that's with YouTube. When you donate, it doesn't go to me, it doesn't go to YouTube, it goes directly to this organization that I picked. And I made sure this organization isn't one of those nonprofits that the 90% of what you donate goes into the CEOs, like they're making so much money, like the Red Cross or whatever. No. This one, they truly do put about 75% of every dollar that comes in goes to the cause. So it's the Addiction Prevention Coalition. So again, if you can just donate even just $1, it does make a difference. It may not sound like that much, but it just helps the video get out. Because if people are donating, if there's 100 people just donating $1, yeah, it's only $100. But that's also a signal that YouTube gauges on pushing videos out. And in fact, as soon as I put this video up, you'll see a donation from me over $1,000 that I'm going to personally donate. You'll see that. I think I'm over at $19,000 in the past 6 months that I've gave for these different nonprofit organizations, in particular the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research, because I need to be alive longer and get through the cure for my Parkinson's, hopefully, in my lifetime, so I can take care of and be around for my other kids. I have 8 other kids, and there's Joshua David Van Horn Jr. On August 6th, he'll be 1 year old. And who knows, I want him to maybe take this channel over, I don't know. But anyways, I know this has been a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but just a little bit more I want you guys to just listen to here for a minute. In respect for my daughter, Alexis Marie. If you can't donate, that's fine. But if you can donate $1 or whatever, it doesn't go to me, it goes directly to through YouTube. They handle it, and there's no fees or anything like that. That's that blue button. You can hit read more and it will break everything down. It's even, I believe, the tax write-off, because it's a 503 nonprofit organization. So you can even do a tax write-off, whatever you donate. I have no affiliation with them at all. They don't know me at all. I just researched them and, believe them what their causes are. Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening to my story, and hopefully this builds some awareness to you guys, or reminds you guys that how life is so precious, and to look out for your child or friends, family, anybody. If you guys could please, for my daughter's sake, let's take a moment of silence. I have a special song that I got licensed for her. You guys can see my other kids here. This isn't her, that's her. But these are my other children, my boys, my girls, and just put that there to show how precious life is to my kids. I have a 10-year-old autistic daughter, and there've been challenges, to say the least, but I'm still, if I can get through this, you guys can get through anything. I'm only asking for you guys to try to help other people. And we need to be reminded sometimes that life can be taken, we're not promised tomorrow. Just try to help somebody. Learn from my mistakes. That's all I can say, but I just want you guys to listen to this song, please. It's about 2.5, 3 minutes, and it's gonna play right now. And if we can just I'm gonna just bow my head, and if you could just please just you can view the obituary here. It's on legacy.com. And my daughter. Okay, and the song's gonna start right now. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and just listen to the song. Thank you.
There is none like you. No one else can touch my heart like you do. I could search for all eternity long and find there is none like you. My heart like you do. search for all eternity long and find there is none like you. Your mercy flows.
Again, learn from my mistakes, you guys. I hope. Again, this video will help somebody. And it's not about business. Sometimes we just need to stop and get a reality check from time to time.
Oh Lord, there is none like you. There is none like you.
Please share this video out. That's one way you can help. I have nothing to gain on this at all.
No one else can touch my heart like you do.
I just want to build awareness because the media is not doing it. It's all news. What's more important in the media is past presidents, politicians, nonsense, and not children passing away from things that the government could be focusing on to save children's life.
There is none like you.
Again, this is dedicated to Alexis, my daughter, my angel. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.